Hello, movie lovers. Welcome to Apocaflix Movies and our spoiler reaction to Spider-Man Far From Home. I am Brian, and I am here with Jake, Jacob, and Keith, and we are going to give our reactions to Spider-Man Far From Home, the newest Marvel movie to come out in the world of the MCU. And it is the first follow-up to the events of Avengers Endgame. So, what do we think? We all clearly enjoyed the movie. Some of us, I think, maybe more than others.
And I mean, that opening scene is so good with the two people who do the videos for the school. And
the
very
Betty,
explained
it's Betty and they
Brand.
never said
the other guy's name. They explained the and it's the same kid. They're both in the Homecoming as well. The videos. Mm-hmm. I love the way they explain the blip in that, and I think.
Do you like that it's called the blip?
No, but it's funny. I think they purposely chose a goofy name to make it sound funny.
I think because we're all calling it the snap.
Yeah, we call it the snap or
the blip,
the dusting and dusting, whatever. But we call it the snap, right? Yeah. So I just think in post Endgame world, I thought that was handled very, very well.
I loved
with that
high
opening
school
scene. And the thing is, we understand how it all works, right? Yeah. How we already knew after Endgame ends, like, okay, the people who were gone for 5 years, they didn't age. They came back the same as they were 5 years ago. But I think general moviegoers, maybe I'm not giving them enough credit, but I don't think they fully understood how it all works, right? So you come into this movie and they explain it straightforward. Dude says, now my younger brother's older than me. And it's just so weird. And they answer a lot of questions with this. We know Aunt May was blipped. We know that. Happy was blipped. We didn't know all these things, right? So
there were a lot of
beers.
We
grew it in the blip. So, and that's the thing. We were like, oh, how is Iron Man going to tell Aunt May that Peter's dead? He didn't have to because
she joined him.
She was as well. And she said she came back to her apartment and all that.
People were living in it.
Yeah.
So I just thought all of that was done very, very well. Speaking of that, I would have liked to have seen at least one character struggling with that more. But it's been 8 months, so maybe not. But some people are going to be traumatized by that, dying and coming back 5 years later, and just what does that do to you physically as well? Are there any do you feel sick?
Yeah, I mean, it's like what Spider-Man said in Endgame. It seemed like he just went to sleep basically.
Yeah.
He said that he woke up and Doctor Strange was doing his light twirly thing, and
so maybe everyone's already dealt with that since it's 8 months later.
I would love to see them come back into the
redust, or undust.
Well, apparently they just appeared. Because we saw it.
That's true. That's
true. The video camera. That's right. That's right.
Oh, the basketball game was hilarious.
That made me laugh so hard. How the band was just like crappy and they're playing, and then the basketball players just smack them.
Dude, there's so many funny things that you can do with that. Like,
what
if people were making love and they came back?
Yeah,
and they're just like in that same spot, but nobody else is there. Like,
someone else living there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. But we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but I just thought all that was handled very well.
Yeah, it was pretty, I couldn't agree more with you. Because my sister is a casual Marvel person, and she obviously saw Endgame like everyone else in the world, but she understood everything walking out of the movie. She called me, and I was like, do you understand everything? She goes, yeah, I literally understood everything. And she's probably only seen maybe like 10 of them.
Okay.
And so, but it tied it up for her. You really, honestly, when you think about it, other than the Endgame, you didn't really need to know anything else other than who Peter Parker was and maybe who MJ was. Other than that,
Tony Stark. If you've seen Homecoming, you would, obviously, because it works as it's a sequel to Homecoming.
Yeah,
it follows up obviously Endgame, but yeah, you're right. It's probably better.
I think you could watch Endgame, Infinity War, Homecoming,
Infinity War, Endgame.
Far From Home. 100%.
It's like a nice quadrilogy.
Maybe Civil War, but you don't have to watch Civil War.
No.
You could watch those 4, and it's a nice little package there.
You almost need Civil War more for Homecoming than you do,
right?
Because the movie starts.
But I don't think you need Civil War, to be honest.
No, and they have all that background footage in Homecoming.
Maybe only to establish the Peter and Tony relationship.
Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
So all right, Jake.
I want to talk about Peter himself. I thought that they put him through a test that no other Spider-Man has in any of the movies we've seen, and a large part of that is due to the death of Tony Stark. Obviously, he's dealing with something that he's never dealt with before, and it seems like it has impacted him more than the Uncle Ben situation.
This is his Uncle Ben death.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It feels like Peter may have been a lot younger when Uncle Ben died, and now they're making him the Uncle Ben arc, and it's really affecting him, and it shows in the movie and how not only he's dealing with it as like Tony being a father figure, obviously, but not living up to the name, and Tony basically being like, "You're an Avenger. You need to be this guy. I'm giving you the reins to be the next Iron Man." And he doesn't feel like
software. He
gave a bad guy the software that can basically control the entire world if necessary. And so I really, really love what John Watts did with the character, the director of the movie. He put Peter through a test that was that we've seen very few times in a superhero movie, and that inner struggle he was having, not only as a superhero, and him constantly saying, he said, "It's not in my neighborhood," though. He's like that. The bad things aren't happening in my neighborhood. You need someone else, like Thor, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. We don't see that from a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. We don't see that from an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Just like Sam Jackson said, "Bitch, you've been to space." Like it's on another level for this character, and so
you mean Talos?
Yeah, Talos said it to him. Yes, but it's really cool to see because he's so young, dealing with all of these inner demons that a 40-year-old Tony Stark was dealing with an Iron Man, or a 95-year-old Captain America was dealing with a Winter Soldier. I mean, he's 15, 16 years old, and he's dealing with the stuff of basically being told, you're supposed to be the next guy. You're supposed to be the next guy to take over this, and we see the struggle, and it's cool to see that kind of like evolution.
Well, it's a great story arc because I was rewatching Homecoming recently, and he was desperate to be an Avenger. Calling Happy the whole time. When's my next mission? When's my next mission? By the end of Homecoming, he decides not to join the Avengers, right? Then he just gets dragged into the whole thing in Infinity War. And now he's trying desperately not to be an Avenger. He just wants to be on his trip with his kids. He's still down to be Spider-Man, but he's really trying to balance those two things.
I mean, he didn't take a suit. Yeah. If he could have, he wouldn't have had the suit.
Well, he wanted to be a kid.
Yeah. And regarding the Spider-Man character, or Peter Parker character, speaking of being a coming-of-age story, I think by the time you get to that last fight with Mysterio and he figures out how to beat him, to me that was him like becoming a man in a way. Because he feels like a little kid still. Even in Endgame, when he's at the end, he's on the floor like
he's still a kid.
Scared. And even during the illusions, he's all scared. At that final scene, he became a man to me. In a way.
Well, he became Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he became like the legit, like almost. And it's a terrible, comparison, but it's like Henry Cavill doing the Superman in Justice League at the very end. When he became like the legit Superman, he became the legit Spider-Man by the end of this movie.
I would never
Gio's cheering.
use badass to describe Spider-Man in this universe up until this point, but in that last scene, he was badass in that scene, fighting those 100% and everything.
100%, because he was always questioning himself.
And I love when he grabs his hand with the gun when Mysterio was trying to trick him.
Oh yeah,
that was so good.
Such a good illusion scene. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that it's such a good evolution because we've talked about it forever, and everybody's questioning how is a 16-year-old kid going to lead the Avengers? This movie explained how. You can see visually how he can lead the Avengers in the future.
And he's there. He's right there on the ground, in the city, and obviously in his neighborhood. He's right there in New York
dealing with it all.
Not every superhero is going to be on Earth coming up soon, and he will be though. He's not leaving Earth.
I mean,
or for a long time.
You really only have out of our main stayers who's on Earth.
Doctor Strange.
We don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's right there in terms of New York. He's right there because they said Strange.
So I'm thinking like he's unavailable. For argument's sake, half the heroes are going to go out in space for some reason. Guardians, Captain Marvel.
Well, you got
half of them might stay on Earth, and Spider-Man will be one of those guys on Earth.
But this version of the Avengers, T'Challa, Black Panther, he's in another outside of the
He's
world.
dealing with Wakanda.
He's dealing with Wakanda.
True.
And whatever. I'm curious what is Strange doing right now, but
they
who
said
knows,
they think I read something.
But he's trying to protect the realm.
Different dimension, possibly.
He doesn't have the time stone anymore. So how does he protect time with that?
Well, I heard someone said that the fact that he's unavailable could tie into his movie.
Okay.
Oh, it probably will. More than likely
he's
will.
He's dealing with his movie.
Yeah, more than likely will.
Yes.
Because to be honest, one of my main concerns is I don't want them to go too far ahead into the future. Like it's 2024,
23.
but it went 8 months forward, so we don't know.
Well, yeah, but we don't know when the month was.
Well, Endgame was in 22, right?
23.
23. They
Okay.
came
It went
back
5
in
years from
2023.
18.
So unless it was like April,
Mhm.
before April, then they're probably in 2024.
Yeah, because
It's 24 because it was 5 years from 14 from in Guardians of the Galaxy. And
well, I mean,
So
I just
way.
imagine.
Yeah, it's
I
2024.
imagine it's 2024 because usually you start.
That's
school,
what I figured.
Start school around that
Yeah.
August. Let's say
Well,
August.
they said,
They
right?
take
They said they
midterms
made
and then
it.
8 months.
Or do the year
yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
So I know, like they said, some of the kids, he's like, I Dustin junior year and I have to come back and do it all
Imagine
over
yeah.
again.
just come back from midterms.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that worries me. That I mean, I would stop if I could have my way. I would like to catch up to the timeline somehow, like whether that be like
I don't know if they can.
I don't know if they
It's-
can either.
It's not
That's
as
the
bad
thing.
as like what X-Men does, but it's like,
Unless
it's a little,
they
it's a
do
weird.
Black Widow and Shang-Chi are all not in
See,
modern day.
I
you
think
know?
I think what they're going to do is they're going to kill off a year's worth of time by doing Black Widow in the past, and I think Eternals is going to be in the past too.
Well, Eternals can be at any time.
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
mean. So I mean that's a whole another year to catch up. But anyways, we're off topic.
Yeah, let's stay on far from the
Uh,
US.
So yeah, so Keith, you're probably the most opinionated, I think, out of all of us for this.
I did not like the opening of this movie. Actually.
Okay.
I didn't like the. Well, okay, let me take it back. I like the explanation of everything that happened with the blip.
Yeah.
But it reminds me. It just occurred to me. No one knows that it was the snap of a finger that made it. So that's probably why they
Just
I
the
thought about
Avengers
They
that
don't-
were there.
right.
They
Just
don't
it.
really know because they think Captain America died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just the Avengers.
Mhm.
So that's why I was like, so maybe that's why they.
They know that Thanos did it, but they don't know that it was
He
a snap.
snapped.
They don't know it was a snap, so that's why they
That's
call
why
it a
it's called
blip. That's why
yeah.
they call it a
I
blip.
just thought about that, but
Well, because they literally, to them, they literally went away and came back in a second. That's
Yeah.
They showed up in the same exact
Yeah,
spot
yeah,
they
yeah.
were, so that's why they call it a blip.
and yeah, there you go, exactly. So, but yeah, the opening. I like the opening. The opening right before, but when they went into the Whitney Houston.
Oh,
I love you.
yeah.
It
It's
felt like,
the video.
Well, it was how those
Being
kids would
too-
make that video, though.
of course.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, in
It's
terms
like
of
an
the
AV
filmmakers making
Yeah.
the movie, it's like it felt like that would have been a more because that was very tragic for us. It was
Well,
tragic for
that's
Peter.
what makes it funny,
That was-
though, to me.
To me, that's what makes
If
it
that was
Spider-Man
actually the opening of the movie, then it would be
a joke.
kind of weird. But
I
it's
suppose.
because those kids made the video.
It reminded me of.
But
like,
it is the opening of the movie because it's you get the logos.
It's the
and
opening
For a
of the
second,
movie
though, I thought it
how
was
it
official. Like, it wasn't the
Me
high school
too.
kids making the movie. It was just, that's how the movie was open. I was
No,
like,
no, but
wow.
I agree. But
Yeah.
they used that to open the
Exactly.
movie. And it's like it felt a little too jokey. Like, we were all like crying over Captain America and Tony Stark dying, and now they're using
Vision.
this goofy Vision. That was actually funny. Vision, but how do they know? Anyway, but yeah,
It's an Avenger, man.
just to
It's
me,
fun.
it felt like it was a little maybe I don't know. It wasn't terrible. I just felt like we were all so sad. I mean, you were crying.
No,
you were
never.
bawling. You were blubbering. No, you weren't. But
I wish I was
no,
pretty-
I was,
I was
we're
pretty
all
upset.
we're all yeah. You know, I just felt like really jokey with that. More than I personally would have liked. It's fine. I get it. Like you said, they're high school kids making this video. Choosing
Reminded
that
me of
song. I chuckled. I thought it was, but it just I don't know. But maybe if it was just Peter himself, like he did with his video in the beginning of
Civil War or Homecoming.
Homecoming, it would have been more, but whatever. But that's it. I love the explanation, like you said. I love the way they explain everything, and this guy still hung up on Betty Brant 5 years later. Well, he got snapped, obviously, or blipped, whatever. So it's the same for him. But
I don't know if
I
I'm
love
ever
it
going to be able to
still.
start calling it a blip.
I know it was odd, right? but like you guys discussed, seeing that scene with the basketball game and I guess it was a pep rally or whatever, people just showing up out of
That
nowhere.
made me laugh so
And
hard.
Martin Starr, the teacher, talking about his wife for 10
That
years.
Uh-huh.
She noticed what was going on and just ran away.
the comedy in this movie was great.
Yeah,
there were
it was,
so many,
absolutely.
and the two scenes to me that
I
stand
think
out.
it was funnier than Homecoming.
Yes,
to be honest.
obviously
Yeah.
the Peter Tingle. Keep going back to the Peter
Oh
Tingle.
my goodness! Yeah.
But then the best line in the entire movie to me, and I need a T-shirt of this, is "Stay sticky."
Stay sticky.
When Happy says "Stay sticky,"
Dude,
so
for me,
good.
One of the standouts is tell me something that only you would know. And he's like, all right, when we went to Germany.
Yes.
That was so
1999.
Watching
didn't have it, but the price I knew it. It's like, because usually when people have done that before in movies and
Yes.
TV, right? And they say some emotional thing when you were 5 years old, you and your dad.
Samuel L. Jackson, I cut the crust, or no, he cut.
Can't eat the.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually something like that.
Yes.
But it was so good.
Oh, and
The way
it
he
tied
did
so
that.
nicely because they used Civil War pretty heavily in this movie,
Yeah.
obviously with Mysterio and everything, kind of calling back to that in Spider-Man's
that's
first
true,
intro.
yeah.
And
That's crazy.
but I know Brian, you haven't really brought up something, so I know that you're probably gonna bring up the big one. Your favorite?
Mysterio.
Yeah, your favorite.
I'm gonna talk about him. Go ahead.
I love him. He's probably in my top 5 villains. Before the movie, I'm talking about just in general.
Sure.
Because Spider-Man has always had my favorite villains, and he was absolutely perfect in this movie. Which is funny because Jake and them thought that
No, it was. I had said that I didn't think Brian was gonna like it, but I had misunderstood who Mysterio was. Because there are multiple versions of him in the
There
comics,
are, yeah.
and
Yeah,
so
there's like 2 or 3.
I misunderstood in my own head. I was like, okay, I'm picturing Mysterio as this, but I just basically pictured him wrong, and I had thought initially Brian's going to come out not liking Mysterio whatsoever. I was wrong, but then I remember myself, okay, I have to think about this. Every version of a comic book character has a different version of himself at some point in the line. So
Yeah, no, and I've been saying this. I could be wrong, but off the top of my head, for me, I know Mysterio's backstory and stuff. This is probably the closest one that they have stuck to as far as a villain to the comic book origin, because he is a master.
outside of Bucky.
Oh, that's true.
Bucky's
I
like
forget
right
that-
on
I
path.
forget that you-
But I see what you're saying.
He's not a scientist for Stark Industries, though. In the
No,
comics.
he's not. But he is still considered a master of illusions.
Well, he's disgruntled. I think he used to work on movies.
He was
in the
a
comics.
stunt-
yes. So he was a
visual effects guy.
I
Yeah.
think he was kicked off. He's
Yeah.
like banned from working on movies anymore.
Yeah, because
it's
he-
crazy.
well.
Playing
He
a
always
Spider-Man.
tried to portray he wanted to be a hero in the movies, and so he eventually tried to portray himself in this hero light. In Spider-Man,
Just realized
him-
he tries to frame Spider-Man a lot in the
Yes.
comics and
Yes.
the cartoons.
Yes.
He
I've
does
always
in
found
this
that
movie.
for that. I've
So-
always found Mysterio annoying. Like
Oh,
he's a good villain,
yeah.
but it's like that's so annoying.
It's because it's almost
Punch
kind
him
of
and-
ridiculous sometimes
Yeah.
too.
Like he
Go
doesn't have
away,
any
like-
powers. He's just using these. And the way they updated it to modern day with the drones and the
Yes.
VR technology was amazing.
It's
I
funny.
Loved how they did that.
I'm so glad he didn't have powers. I'm so happy because the whole time I'm just like, if he has some stupid Doctor Strange powers and something like that, I'm going to be really upset. And the whole time I was left wondering, if he is going to be this master of illusions and stuff, how is he doing this? And the drones,
They
I was
explained
like,
it perfectly, yeah.
like, oh my god, that's genius! Like the way he uses the drones, and I like the fact that they showed him in that like motion capture suit, and he had that bubble,
Yeah.
and that helmet was like a command central, so it kind of almost made like the
It
ridiculousness
Be necessary,
of him having a giant fishbowl on his head. It made it more real because in the comic books he's just ridiculous. He just has a bowl over his head.
Yeah.
This, I mean, makes it make sense. They just did such a good job with his character, and Jake Gyllenhaal absolutely nails this character. He is so good. Only thing that was a little wonky for me was the bar scene when
Yes.
he's calling out everyone.
So
but
that scene was weird.
it was weird, but it was genius how they connected some of those characters.
It was.
How they connected him, how it connected to Barf, I thought was
The Civil War
I like
stuff.
that. And then
Amazing.
the scientist from the first Iron Man as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
because I remember going, "Holy cow!"
Ralphie from Christmas.
I just thought the
Yeah.
execution of the scene, because I was watching the movie and I'm enjoying it, right? And then Spider-Man leaves the bar, and then the movie changed. It was like
The
wait
tone
a
just
minute.
like flipped.
It's out of
Yeah.
nowhere, and he was very goofy. And the thing is, Gyllenhaal's good in that scene.
Yeah.
He's performing well, but it just felt so odd, and it was one of those explain-o villain scenes. And the thing is, I'm glad it wasn't, I'm fighting the good guy, and now I'm gonna tell the good guy my whole entire plan. It wasn't that. It was done differently, but that would not happen in real life.
No, it's like, here's the bad guy, and here he is revealing every single thing he could possibly reveal.
But the thing is, after that scene, everything with Mysterio is great.
Yeah.
After that scene,
when he puts him in those visions,
those 2 illusion scenes
were
incredible.
amazing. Yeah. I walked out not going, have I ever seen something like that? Like, it was perfect. Like, everything about
Doctor
that.
Strange, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I loved it. You're quiet.
Yeah,
You didn't like him?
No, I liked him. It took me a while to get on board with him. It took me like even a day or two to kind of really think about it. But that's, again, I think that relates to me not understanding what they're trying to do with the character. I think it bothers me that that he's not actually in a suit, and I get what they're doing with him. I understand that he's the master of illusions. It's all projections. I totally understand with the drones and everything, but it just took me a while to really figure it out and kind of be on board with it, I guess.
I know what you mean.
Is he dead?
No, it's an illusion, 100%.
Not Friday.
Edith.
All illusions.
It's
The
100%.
name of Edith is genius.
that
Even
killed
dead,
me.
I'm the hero.
That cracked me up.
Yeah, that was
I
good.
laughed out loud.
That was good. No, I think he wasn't perfect to me, but I am totally okay with what they did with him. And
I agree.
I think that he was a completely necessary villain for this film, for the character of Peter and the arc they were telling for him, because of the connection that he had with Civil War, with Tony, how he used that personal side of it all against him, and knowing who he is beforehand. And then, it definitely took me a little while to kind of be on board, and it even got worse after that bar scene. I was like, okay, what is really going on here? Right. And then once it kind of like really just, held on to him being in this mocap suit and really showing us who he was, I was like, okay, I'm understanding it, I'm getting it, but just him not being in the suit. I guess I just wanted him to be in the suit,
and actually from
and I guess I just had this expectations, but that's my own fault for kind of having those expectations. And so
that's suit
because we've been told there is a multiverse and that there are other
so now but now that's not true. And so was he really Quentin Beck and is there a Quentin Beck out there that can really be the Mysterio or whatever? Because we did see that scientist guy take the program, and so maybe they do something else with that later on. I think that he was completely necessary. I think he worked out really great. I thought the banter between him, Gyllenhaal and Tom Holland was fantastic. I thought the two of them together, the chemistry was some of the best on-screen duo chemistry we've seen in the MCU period. Those two together, I could watch them all day together. And not just in this, in anything, like literally in anything.
I loved when he was playing good and that relationship. Part of me wanted him to actually be good.
Yes.
And then something
maybe later on
that
flip.
Makes him flip.
Yes.
That's what I was hoping.
Yes.
You could have had him actually be this guy in this suit who has powers and also be a master of illusions as well. You could have had both, but it was all strictly just technology, master of illusions.
That's the thing, because he really, obviously Gyllenhaal, because he's a world-class actor, but the character, he really sold it.
Both ends.
Which made me think it would kind of allude to the actual original comic origin of
and we
Mysterio,
only
being a Hollywood guy.
Him playing good in the trailers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And being a Hollywood guy and being around actors, you think that, okay, he's really like acting like he's a good guy. So maybe it was an odd thing. That's my only issue with, and I'm kind of with you on him, is Gyllenhaal. It's not him at all, but he's just another disgruntled Stark employee. And it's like,
but I will say this. So I feel you on that, but I will say this. This is the one time where it's necessary because Tony Stark's dead.
He just did it in the last one with Michael Keaton. He's mad at Stark.
Yes, but Tony had just died, and the father figure to Peter, what it meant, it was completely necessary, and it just felt like the right way to do it.
Tie-in with the technology.
Cool. And it makes sense because they're like, of course, there's going to be opportunistic people in that are trying to take
Sure. Yeah,
his,
you're right.
his
Who's the next Iron Man type
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't. Michael Keaton wasn't an employee of Stark, right?
No,
he
no,
worked
no,
for
but
someone
he's
else, and Stark took
he had
over.
his own-
Stark took over.
Wrong.
No.
No, for what he was doing.
No,
Remember-
Stark didn't take over. It
No, I'm
was
saying he
damage
took over-
control.
Yeah,
I know,
Stark
but they
owned-
took
Stark-
over all the damage
Oh, yeah, yeah,
control.
Stark owned
yeah.
damage
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
He took the job from him.
Yeah, he took the job from Keaton's company. So no, I mean, yeah, I think that
Another person mad at Tony Stark being.
I do think that Mysterio.
But no, it makes a good point because after Endgame and there's a whole Tony Stark theme in this movie, and it made sense for this movie.
And it runs throughout the whole MCU, of course. I mean, so I get it, but
Okay, do you think Mysterio's dead?
No.
Do you think
Yes,
he's dead?
absolutely, 100%.
Do you think
yes.
he's dead?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
I really don't.
That's what
Because what do you do with him going forward? He's not a being who has powers. What he's just going to keep doing illusions again? Figure out another way to do that.
He
Like,
becomes stronger at it. I mean,
what do you do with him?
Yeah.
My only thing is that and you guys might be able to help explain it, is when would he have filmed that?
post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I was
It was-
thinking
he
the
was-
entire time.
he was on the bridge, right?
Right.
He was on the bridge
Right.
and all that. And it seemed like it was happening like right when Spider-Man was there.
Right.
So when was that filmed?
Maybe
either
he filmed it, and the scientist behind the scenes was doing it the
Maybe
entire
that
time.
could be the reason.
Oh my goodness.
And that could be exactly
Could
what
have
it
done
is.
anything. He could have filmed it beforehand
And-
and put the CGI'd himself.
Well,
into
that
it.
yeah, and I mean, the scientist could have rendered everything himself because we don't know how long the events of the bridge were compared to when it got revealed. It could have been
But
a
it's
day, it
so
could have been a
dumb,
week.
though. So they show a video with Spider-Man's legs
Yeah.
in the background, and there's just audio of him saying, "I see them all," and the whole world's just gonna believe
Well,
it.
and that's why I think it's going to play into Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
I think
there's no way.
that way will play into Spider-Man.
So other than the bar scene, there's one thing that really bothered me, and it actually is in the bar scene. Why would Peter give some guy he barely knows those glasses? Please explain that to me.
I think
that
was
is
just
just an
ridiculous.
immature 16-year-old.
That is
immature, and I think he
Yeah.
was so desperate to just
Get
do
rid
the
of
right
them.
thing.
And
But
do
he
the
doesn't
right
even
thing.
know this guy.
Yeah, but he felt like he trusted him because
Yeah,
of
but
Nick
if you have
Fury,
Nick Fury,
because of the
Maria Hill,
battles.
right.
It just kind of.
everything he's seen him do, he felt like this guy knows what he's doing.
I think he was just so desperate to just be a normal kid that he's.
Get
I don't
rid
want
of
this
them and go on
responsibility.
stay on his.
It was just
position.
it played into his arc of him being an immature 16-year-old to becoming something
and
else.
I understand that, but I'm still like,
No, I'm
Peter,
with you.
You're
Yeah.
so dumb.
I'm with you. I'm with
more
you.
mad at the character. I'm not mad at the filmmakers for making that
Yes.
decision. I'm mad at the character.
I don't know
Why
that he-
would you do that?
I don't know that he understood
Do you
what
know how
Tony gave him.
powerful that thing is?
No,
I don't
I don't
think
think
he
he
got
understood it
I
either.
don't think
Yeah,
he really
yeah,
realized
yeah.
that. Because we saw what happened. Look, when he's on the train or with the train, or
The bus.
where he accidentally sent.
You know what that
He didn't
is?
realize
It
what
is
was
now the
happening.
armor
So
guarding
funny.
the world.
Yeah.
now. That
Yeah.
thing out in space.
And
And
he doesn't-
yeah.
And he doesn't know that those are conversations that start.
And that's crazy that Tony
Yeah.
Stark gave that to him.
I know.
That's
You think he would
crazy.
give it to Strange or
Or did Tony give it to him, or was it a test from Nick Fury?
maybe? Yeah. Or
No, because
No, I think Tony gave it to him.
not Nick Fury, but I think Tony did.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
it's not Nick Fury.
But maybe
yeah.
Tony gave it to him
Yeah.
because he knows Peter's pure and good, and he's not going to corrupt it. Maybe he
And
thinks
how
somebody
smart he
like
is as
Doctor
well.
Strange or Nick Fury would corrupt it. You know,
Yeah.
who knows?
I'm so glad that I'm one of the few people that I feel like that I was glad that it wasn't Nick Fury, because in my mind I'm thinking, how many times has Nick Fury been wrong about someone? Like he
no,
always
Nick Fury would have known right away that he was being tricked. That's
Yeah,
why
exactly.
I'm okay.
Oh,
At first,
and
I
he
was
said that.
mad that it wasn't really them, but then I realized, wait a minute, there's no way
None of
that.
this would have happened.
Yeah, Nick Fury would have caught on right
I
away.
loved when
Yeah.
he was in the tower and at the end he's just
The
like,
drone.
yeah, it's like, help, we're doing this. He's like, mm-hmm.
And then Maria Hill shoots down the drone right
Yeah.
above him, which is cool.
I love. He was used perfectly in this. It wasn't too much.
Taylor. He even said himself, like, I didn't know it was going to go sideways like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, you're right.
I know that we're going to want to talk about the post-credit scenes, but because we only have like 7 to 10 minutes or so. But really quickly, I want to talk about my favorite scene in any Spider-Man movie is when he's doing the suits with the Thunderstruck theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came out of that movie losing my mind over that because he literally became Tony Stark in that moment. Happy's watching him. Happy goes, "I'll put the music on."
Yeah.
I away knew that it was going to be Thunderstruck because of the Avengers.
Dude, that scene makes me want to cry, man.
When he does the arm, when he puts the arm in the hologram, and it looks like Tony, he's sitting there talking to the AI. Well, he's talking to the AI. He's like, "Hey, do this." Like he's talking all techy and everything.
Twisting his arms.
It is done so perfectly, and I hope they do that more.
Yeah.
Going forward, and I hope Happy's involved, even though the jet got blown up.
You came out saying that you were so happy how they.
I was so happy the way they used Happy. I think that Happy and Peter are now working together
basically
like Tony and
right
Happy.
now.
It is perfect the way they do
said,
it.
Yeah.
You work for it?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't work for it.
I was watching the Schmoes No review, and Christian Harloff pointed out, Happy wouldn't even take his phone calls.
Yes,
last movie.
and now because of the stuff with Tony and what Tony's done for Peter and everything, the connection, it makes sense, and it completely. But that scene overall, I was so happy watching the scene and just how it all went down.
I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I love Led Zeppelin. It's such a Peter thing to say. It's such a Peter thing to say.
When he said the music, I'm like, yeah, and he goes, oh, Led Zeppelin. I'm like, oh,
it's so good. Well, not to mention,
it's perfectly though.
Not to mention though, all the suits that were there that Tony had planned for him. The original Iron Spider,
he can take little pieces from every suit and make his own.
I don't know if you guys saw that in the left corner. There was an actual Iron Man Spider-Man suit, full-on Iron Man suit.
Oh, was there?
With Spider-Man designs on it that he could use if he really wanted to. So all those holograms, it was so perfect. It was probably my favorite scene in any Spider-Man movie they've done.
It reminded me of in the first Iron Man when he's first building the suit
with Jarvis.
When he was at the party,
But now imagine him talking to Edith in the future, and Happy sitting there watching him do that, and it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very well done. As far as I still almost don't feel like he's going to be leading the Avengers.
No, he has a while to go, but he will be eventually.
I feel like he has now established his role as a main staple.
Well,
Avenger.
We know that from Infinity War. He has a buddy in Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange was there with him. He knows the Guardians. The Guardians are going to be off doing their own thing.
Scott Lang was in San Francisco.
He's going to have Ant-Man on his side. Black Panther obviously knows who he is from Endgame, right? And obviously the connection to Tony is going to be a big deal.
Peter is the leader type.
No,
that's not his personality. It's going to be Strange, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, one of those.
Yeah.
I definitely think it'll probably be Captain Marvel or Black Panther.
Falcon?
Falcon's a good one, but I think I don't know if they can do that because it would feel too what would they do with him as a leader? He kind of feels like a guy who kind of almost takes orders because he's a soldier. He's a soldier type.
I don't know that he'll be an Avenger. To be honest with you, it might just be him and Bucky doing stuff. I mean, they'll be Avengers.
We could see fragments of Avengers all over the world though, and they could really be in Europe.
Something major happens.
Yeah.
Come together. But
and then we'll see with all these shows coming out. We've got Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Quickly though, let's go over the post-credit scenes. We got about 5 minutes left of the first one, obviously revealing that he's Peter Parker.
I actually stood up and screamed.
I yelled out loud. Oh no!
No, I stood up and screamed when it was my drawing.
J. Jonah Jameson and J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
I lost
J.K.
my mind.
Simmons.
I forgot it was so amazing.
It's too perfect. It's too perfect.
Yes. From day one, I've been saying he's one of those characters. He's too perfect. And play it. And they did it.
Well,
and I was so happy.
I also love that they made a twist on it. It's not the newspaper. It's now a web show, and that's from the comics. Comics and the game.
Well, they tapped into the video game a couple times.
Yes, they did.
And pulled things from the video game.
He's now a news anchor rather than an editor on a newspaper. Yes, which is cool.
It's like a podcast.
Yes,
right.
Yeah. Well, they call it dailybugle.net. That's what they call it. Yeah,
which is similar to what Venom was doing in Venom. He was doing a web show.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that they'll tie those together, but
maybe he starts working for the dailybugle.net, which would be interesting. No, I think it made sense for him to do that, but yeah, I mean, revealing his name obviously is a big thing going forward. And I read the comments from John Watts earlier, like today or yesterday, that he tapped into the Civil War reveal from the comics. And then John Watts said he never read the comics, but he wanted to do that. Now he has to go back and do his homework. And it's going to play into Spider-Man 3, obviously, which will be very interesting because we've never seen that happen.
It wasn't him doing it on his own.
We've never seen that happen. We've never seen it happen in any Spider-Man movies.
If they are going to do some Sinister Six type stuff, it makes
That's
sense
going to
now.
be big time.
Now they all
That's
know
gonna be
who
big
he
time.
is. And remember at the end of Homecoming when the guy who Scorpion is asking
Michael Keaton,
who is he?
And Keaton knows, but he wouldn't out him. You're right.
What if Keaton
comes
mad? help Spider-Man.
Right. That's what I was about to say.
Vulture could be the good guy, which would be
Yeah.
interesting. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are a couple comic books that come off of this. I want to say it's called Menace. I want to say where the cover is literally him in handcuffs because he got outed, and it's all about how he's.
Well, and then also he's framed.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that's going to play?
Yes, I do think it's funny because one of our buddies came out of the movie going, "Are we going to see a John Wick style Spider-Man?" Where he's going up against all of New York, coming running out of New York, which would be insane to think about. But
who are they going to send after him though? Like government agents? He'll just
Yeah.
we don't. After all of the
Soviet
Endgame
Accords are
stuff
still
in
a
Infinity
thing.
War, we don't know what's out there. We don't know what's out there.
As far as you're right, and I'm
What kind of Avengers are still there
Well,
to
the thing
protect
is,
him or
I
anything?
think
We don't know.
The world has changed. He's a war hero now. He fought in the whole Endgame thing. So
Little Thunderbolts
Who
type
knows?
action.
Which would be cool.
Send some villains after him. There's your Sinister Six.
Yeah.
I'm just more curious because now that everyone knows, like, what is the deal with Aunt May? Like, she's now
Target.
Well,
Yeah.
she's going to have to go into hiding with Happy somewhere, probably.
Probably.
Maybe some help from Nick Fury, obviously. Nick Fury's going to get a hold of
So
this
then-
somehow.
Yeah. And then we have the Scrolls reveal.
Yeah.
Which
Huge.
what do you guys think that means?
I think that was their
Well,
way of
we-
introducing Sword.
Sword is a big thing, but I do think that it's a nod at Secret Invasion happening.
That
Yeah,
I
There
think
was
it's
a
does
moment,
happen.
exactly. There was a moment though where, but I'm not 100% sure they're going to go that direction because it seems like they're saying the Skrulls
Not
are the-
now.
The Skrulls are the good guys,
But
and
that
the Kree are
that
bad.
group of Skrulls,
There was a moment where,
Well, he said there's scrolls all over the
and he
galaxy.
said not all
There
of
could
us
be
are
bad
good. He
Skrulls.
did
Yeah,
say not all
that's
of us
true.
are good.
And it's just like people, like I said during Captain Marvel. But there was a moment where I had a thought, Skrull, because they come into a scene in the middle of a conversation between Hill and Fury, and they're like talking about Kree sleeper cells, and I'm wondering why.
So that was a nod that nobody of us
Talking
caught.
about-
That
And
nobody
he
of us
says a
caught.
line
Yeah.
in the middle of the movie. He says, "I didn't know something about scrolls." He says something.
That isn't Nick Fury like probably.
Yeah.
That
So-
was totally nodding that we
Yeah.
just didn't catch.
So I have-
But we
Yeah.
didn't know. But
Yeah,
now
exactly.
going back,
Now
it's
now
like,
it makes
oh.
sense.
Yeah. The first time I even thought about it, which is literally like 5 seconds before they revealed it, and is when he was playing with the eye patch.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
why is he? Nick Fury never
Right.
touches the eye patch. Why is he playing?
So they
with the eye
nodded all over the place.
Sure.
Just just like the Last Jedi with the whole salt stuff with Luke, showing us, and we didn't know. But yeah, I mean, it plays. It's a
That's
big
huge.
move. It's a
Do
big
you
move.
think there's more Avengers on that ship with Nick Fury?
No.
Avengers?
If
No,
Anyone?
I
Captain
I
Marvel,
think
anyone.
I don't think there's Avengers. I think it's him
And Maria Hill.
recruiting Shield agents that are with him that are now going to be Sword.
Well,
Obviously,
Strange is there, and that's why he's unavailable.
that.
I think
Or what
Strange
if this
is
is a
in
way to
different
bring in the
realms.
Agents of Shield, the show? Because they just went to space. They just got back from
Then that
space.
would, the only thing is that it would be really weird to try to reboot Inhumans if that's the case.
I'm not looking forward to Human. I'm not like looking that far in the future though. I'm just saying like, what if this is a
Yeah,
way to
sure.
kind of bring everything together?
I just think it's genius because Sword, you are now all over the galaxy.
Sure.
And
Well,
I
and he's
mean,
working again with Captain Marvel, which
Captain
just makes
Marvel.
sense.
Yeah.
Which just makes sense.
Yeah.
But we didn't see Maria Hill up there with him, correct?
No,
No,
We
but I
do
think
so.
she is though.
it would make sense because then
I don't know. I feel like she could almost be like a.
Where else is she? And
What if
why
she-
wouldn't you just have the real Maria Hill with Talos?
That's the only thing I was
Well, what
thinking
if
was
she's like kind of putting together a station for the new set of Avengers?
maybe.
I know at one point she became
The director of Shield. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if she's like just like almost like
And I
a
love
spokesman
Toby
for the
Smaller,
new
so that's
Avengers
awesome.
in place for Nick Fury because he's doing off his thing, and she's like the Earth version of Nick Fury for the new Avengers.
That would make total
Because
sense. Yeah.
I always wanted to see her the new director. I
Me
thought
too.
after he went off after the Winter Soldier,
Winter Soldier,
I
thought
wanted to
that's what
see
they
her
did.
kind of
That's where
become
it
a
was gonna
lead.
go, yeah.
I think this is almost
They
like a
could
perfect way to
possibly.
do that,
And they said they're going more cosmic, so you can have Nick Fury up there.
which would be badass.
And
Him with the Guardians, like
Yeah,
meeting up the
something,
Guardians,
you know?
like the
Dude,
Guardians working
or
under
I
him or
have
something.
I love how
Nova.
Nick
Give me
Fury's
Nova.
reputation stays. 'cause
Did you know
even
there was a
Mysterio
nod in
says-
it?
No.
So apparently there is a part where he's Peter's picking out movies, and there's where it's like documentary on Tony Stark. There's a couple of them in the very corner of it. One of them is titled Nova.
Really?
He's coming in one way or another. He's always been coming at some point. It's just all about timing.
Yeah.
Because they're going more space now, and now it's the perfect time for him to come.
And the fact that
we have time. If they're going to keep this going for 30 years.
Yeah, there's so many characters, and
there's time.
Yeah, so for sure.
And the fact that Thanos got rid of, destroyed that whole planet.
Yeah, all of Xandar. So.
But so that's our very discussed.
We were kind of all over the place.
We
but it
went
was
all
fun.
over the place.
Part one. We'll have to go to part two.
We'll get Geo on it.
Yeah, we got to go part two after Geo
Yeah.
sees it for sure.
So that's our spoiler review for Spider-Man: Far From Home. Keith, I almost said Homecoming because now you keep saying
They both have the name Home in it.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep doing it. They got to keep doing it.
Third name speculation.
They got to keep doing it.
No, please don't put Home in the next title.
Someone said Spider-Man home run.
Home Run.
I'm down.
I don't know.
Oh wow.
That's a weird one. But yeah, that's our spoiler reaction to Spider-Man: Far From Home. Go ahead and let us know what you think in the comments below. Did we miss anything? I'm sure we'll do more in the future. Check it out on iTunes too. We've got stuff that comes out on iTunes.
And Instagram. We got a new Instagram. Follow
and Instagram, yes, we have that too. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you hit that like button. For Keith, Jacob, Jake, and Brian, we will see you next time.
Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocaflix movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocaflix movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.